Hey everybody, it is ElCid932 on YouTube, and thank you for joining me for episode 6 of Alone. Make sure you have liked, you share, and you are subscribed to the channel because we have lots of things coming up. So let's get into it because somebody done already topped out in this video, y'all. Somebody already tapped out. So we start with the quote for this episode, which is the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. So it's day 14, 12:08 a.m. and we start with Doug. Doug gets up from falling. Remember, he passed out and we were just looking up at the sky from his camera. He said he admits to fainting. He said while he is fed and well rested, he has neglected his water. This is his signal to stop what he's doing and drink water. We're told when the body is dehydrated, blood volume reduces, and this leads to a drop in blood pressure. This drop can cause a lack of oxygen to the brain, causing unconsciousness. He woke up disoriented from the faint. He said if he had done it anywhere else, it would have been worse. He could have been injured. He said the cool weather has made him think that he wasn't getting dehydrated. And the bush kept his head from hitting a boulder and getting really injured. He does rest. He goes to drink water out of the canteen he took as one of his items. Remember, y'all, I was asking about people taking a canteen. He has one. But I ask, and with all that rain that happened, did anyone collect rainwater? Is it safe to collect rainwater as a drinking source? I would be interested because I haven't seen anything like that. So it's still day 14. Now it's 4:11 p.m. He reviewed his GoPro footage and thinks he would have hurt himself if he fell anywhere else. And he's thinking of his overall safety and health. And his ego wants to go longer than 14 days. He wants a month. He wants 2 months. He wants the win. He said, but this is dangerous when you're at 100%, so it's extremely dangerous when you lose consciousness. He says many things can end your stay and your life out here. He has to acknowledge his limits. He said this is a sign that his body's not working. He said time to make the call, and he officially taps out. I have the pictures, of course, for you where he calls and he does tap out and the crew comes. He said it's best to call it quits. Passing out crosses a safety line for him. He's never dealt with dangerous animals like the ones out here because they're also venomous snakes and scorpions. He said it was not one of those that took him down, but his body is telling him that it's time. He promised his wife to stay if it was relatively safe to do, and the line of relatively safe has passed since he did faint. He said the rest of his life and his wife matters more. He spent life trying to achieve things to prove his worth. He said he would have loved to have won. But 14 days does not mean he's worthless. Recognizing that is a big step. He has overcome a lack of food, living in primitive tent, living in an unfamiliar area, and the desire to be perfect. He does not have to win to prove he is worthwhile. Just do your best and that is enough. He has a new confidence in leaving Africa. So y'all, Doug officially tapped out. Doug was one of my favorites as well. And I decided, my version shows you the ride back to home base, and I'm going to cover that as here as well. Someone takes his blood pressure and he recounts what happened to him. He said he was digging, it was strenuous. They take his pulse, it's at 97. They asked when did he last eat. They asked when did he last drink water. He said it was 30 ounces that morning. They took his sugar level, and the medic says your sugar level is alarming. He said, think about this. The ancestors lived like baboons, and look how far we've diverged from that. It's amazing to consider that they lived like that. They created their own language, culture, and social structure. And, they have come to pass on knowledge in a different way. He said the environment may not have been this one, but for sure it was harsh and challenging. He feels he can apply this experience to survival in his home life and his work life. And then he sees a herd of giraffe while he's riding on the truck heading back. At the home base, he gets there at night, y'all. Remember, they picked him up at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and he gets there when it's dark. So he has to account again for the 2 days. He had 1 canteen of water. He said no lightheadedness after the crew came. He said, this will have him feel more capable going forward in his life. He said, even if it didn't go the way he wants, it has been a positive experience. 14 days don't sound like a long time in alone, but this is a new location and he's never tried to survive in a place like this. He said, living in a primitive manner distills life down to things that really matter: water, staying warm, food, and human connection. It's a lot to take for granted. He said, he got to feeling sympathy for the ancestors who had to struggle through this without our technology. He said, we are blessed and the time is not great, but it is a personal accomplishment for him and it feels pretty substantial. So that was Doug. And y'all, Doug and Douglas were my top two. So again, this is why I don't pick people as winners too early on. I'm going to wait till the final two and then pick a winner. So day 14, 1:13 p.m., the temperature is 46 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 degrees Celsius, and we're with Kelsey. She said she thinks about all the food that's running through her mind: cookie dough, spaghetti, cheesecake, chocolate. Y'all, I had to stop because she was getting me hungry. She listed all the food she was craving. She said it stopped raining and there is no wind. So I heard no wind and I said, oh, time to go hunting. Because no wind means the animals can't smell you. So a warthog is running low and she says she's been eating less to make sure it doesn't run out. Then she spots a giraffe in the distance. And then she's like, wait a minute, it's two giraffes. So I have a photo for you of what she sees. Then she hears grunting. She sees a warthog. Then she sees two. She aims, but they run uphill. We're told warthogs can reach a speed of up to 30 miles per hour, which is 48 kilometers per hour. She did not take the shot because they were too far and it would have wounded the animal, and that is no good. That is not an ethical ending of the animal's life. Day 16, 11:26 a.m. She puts in the fishing line and goes back to camp to exercise. She says she's doing the push-ups to make sure she has the strength to pull her bow when it's time for hunting. She said it's getting harder and harder to do. Losing weight means less strength. She walks a flat loop round and around the camp, but it's flat, so it's not too much energy used. She's forgetting about that sun. Kelsey, that sun will utilize some energy. So the warthogs are MIA and she cannot ethically hunt the other animals because she has a 50-pound bow. Now that means she could only hunt animals of a certain size, and that is a warthog size, because she does see a wildebeest in the distance, which if she had the right bow, she could have ethically hunted it, but she does not have the proper equipment. She's worried that someone else has bigger game. So y'all, I do have a picture of that wildebeest for you. So I'm like, even if you got a wildebeest, Kelsey, can you carry that back to camp? Can you store that large of an animal? I understand what you're saying, but I think the warthog is a safe size. But y'all tell me what you think, because a wildebeest is a massive animal. It's, almost like, I don't know, it's almost like a deer, but it's a way bigger than a deer. So let me know what you think. Do you think she would be able to handle, or any of the contestants handle, a wildebeest? But then again, I didn't think they could handle a bear last time or an oxen, and they did. So she returns to camp to check the line. She said it's hard being out there, getting weaker and more tired, but you gotta push forward. 12:42 p.m. She's like, she should not have gotten that far. She should not have gone that far, but it had to be done when she was going after the warthogs. Her bobber is caught in the weeds. It's made from some styrofoam from her quiver on day 4. But there's a fish on the line. Can she pull it through the weeds and not get caught and then the fish escape? Y'all, she caught a catfish. This 15-inch catfish will give her 400 calories. She made a little stove. She got her rice and salt for the meal, and I'll show you that in a picture of what her cooking situation is. And she has her rice and salt in little bags. They let them take baggies of this. I ain't too thrilled. So she moves away after the smoke from the fire is kind of getting in her eyes. And y'all, when she moves away to kind of like get water and wash her eyes out, the stove pops and the flat rock cracks, and all the fish fall on the dirt floor in the ash. I was like, oh my word. We're told that heated water trapped within a rock can quickly turn into steam and shatter the rock. She says she is glad she wasn't standing close because, she would have gotten shrapnel on her. She goes and gathered the fish out of the rubble. She's like, hey, out of the ash, out of the dirt, we still eating this fish. She does ask for a slow motion, and the crew obliges, and they show us that in slow motion. And y'all, I am going to show you a picture too of before and after. And after, you'll see how far a piece of that rock flew off from her cooking area. It's very dangerous. She says she was seconds away from rock shrapnel in her face and a potential medical extraction. Her game would have been over. She said, you got to be conscious of everything you do. You can be taken out in a second. She got all the fish out, and she said, we eating this all. There will be no waste. And we're told that fish scales are flame retardant. Now, while I agree with that, production, here's where I will have to correct you. She caught a catfish. That's what you said, and that's what it looked like. Then what scales? Google tells me, and having my son catch a lot of catfish, Google says catfish don't have scales. The catfish I have seen don't have scales. So if someone out there has seen catfish with scales, please let me know and explain to me why they would put fish scales are flame retardant when she caught catfish with no scales. So as she said, no waste, dirt and all will be eaten. So at 2:53, close to 2 hours later, she has her meal of fish and rice. I wonder if any little, pieces of rock is in there. I hope she washed it off a bit, but then she'd be washing the salt off. Anyway, hey, it looks good for alone. It looks like a good meal. It's a full plate. She said she is encouraged that there will be more catfish to be caught. She said there's little energy to catch on a set line. She doesn't have to go walking away from camp to catch fish. She can get stronger longer. So she said, does anyone else have a full belly, or are they all eating grass? She's thinking about the other people. She has to do walks to stay mentally strong. She cannot stay cooped up in her shelter. So she eats the whole meal and even licking the pot cover, which acts as her plate. So that was Kelsey's, journey this episode. Now we move on to Nathan. It is day 15, 9:43 a.m. We told 4 people are remaining. Nathan, he's sitting in the sunshine. He said it feels great because it's been rainy and damp for days. The storm made him realize he needs long-term shelter, and he begins his project. He said the placement is because of the first sun in the morning, so his shelter will stay warmer longer, and he has to shelter from the winds. He is building a rock house out of chalet stone. We're told chalet is a mixture of parallel layers of clay, silt, and minerals that often break into flat pieces. He's building a 5x10 shelter. It's a lot of work, but it will pay off, and he has the calories to finish the project since he has the fish. Now, the stone shelter, because stones are available everywhere. He's doing a dry stack building where there's an outer wall and an inner wall, and it's filled in the middle with sand. And I will show y'all basically stages in pictures of where he is in building this house. So the sand will be a filler in the middle as insulation. We're told that dry stacking goes back hundreds of years and can be found historically on every continent. 11:36 a.m. He will use a lot of calories, but the nights are getting colder. The warm shelter will help him lose less calories. Because y'all know when we're cold and when we shiver, that is also us losing not only heat, but calories. And remember, he didn't build a shelter when he first got there. We're told that Nathan is burning approximately 300 calories per hour in working on his shelter. He said the rain was unexpected and it reminds him of a survival trip with family and students. He said he and some students decided not to take ponchos to cover their tent because the sky was clear. But when the rain rolled in that night, his mom was the only one who was dry because she took the poncho with her. Be prepared. He said he was wrong not to put in energy into shelter first. So I'm going to ask you guys, did he What was he wrong? Did he, make a mistake? Because he didn't have food. So he didn't have the energy before. So I think this is a good time, even though the rains came, I think this is a good time for him to really put in the time to permanent shelter because he has all that fish to eat. But what are your thoughts in the comments? So he stops working on the shelter for the day. And you'll see, of course, the pictures. So day 16, 9:41 a.m., he's rolling a lot of rocks and he finds a scorpion. Of course, I have a picture of that. He says he has the rat out on a pole and will use this on another line for catfish. Now, we're told that that scorpion is a false karoo burrower. So I looked it up. It is not dangerous to us humans. He said the rain may have the scorpions coming back out. And I'm like, everything is looking for food. Or is it that their tunnels are flooded with all the water? I don't know. The last fish he had was on day 9. And of course, as I told y'all, we are on day 15. He wonders if he should be out hunting or fishing. But he'll wait to go hunting. He's very optimistic with the rat and the scorpion on the hooks in the water. He knows what folks at home are thinking. He said, oh no, this is what folks do before they tap. They build a big shelter. Yes, we have seen that time and time again on Alone. People go into these huge shelters, burn up all this energy, and don't have enough energy for anything else. He said he has the calories, and this will be a long-term benefit. He said this is like building forts. It's a part of his life. And he thinks of his childhood and his mom and the dedication to family and their experiences. He goes to check the fish lines, and nothing is caught. He does mention that his mom is now in her 80s. She's gotten older and cannot help people like she used to. And the biggest challenge is that she is losing her memory, and he is trying to honor her out here. Next up is Baja. It is day 15, 12:12 p.m. He's exploring a new area or a new section of his area. He has not hunted in 3 days because of the rain, and he needs to explore deeper. And he sees an antelope. We're told a greater kudu, known for its spiral horns that can grow up to 6 feet. That's taller than me. He said it is way too far. And y'all, I'm looking at it and I'm like, Baja, how did you see this thing? And I will show you a long distance range photo and a close-up photo that he showed with his camera. I don't know how he saw it, but it may be because I'm nearsighted. So, when alarmed, the kudu stands still to blend in with the scenery, making it difficult to spot. So I'm like, how did Baja spot him? So he said he's going to try and stalk up the hill and kind of meet him up on the hill. He said it has to be within 30 yards to have a good shot. And this will make him not worry about food for a long time. But he lost him. Apparently, the kudu blended with the terrain. Disappointed because he is not consuming enough food. He needs to find food fast or he will not last. But he's going to have buffalo thorn leaves for dinner. And we're told these can be cooked like spinach. They have 2 sets of thorns, one hooked and one straight on the branches. He talks about how he met his wife. He says since she is white, the relationship was a secret because dating outside of your nationality was not well received where he's from. Remember, he's from the Soviet Union. He said the relationship helped him break the change of society's rules. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, it divided people, and he said there was an ethnic cleansing. He is part of Uzbek and Uyghur group. These are a Turkic ethnic group native to Central Asia. It was scary because they already had their oldest daughter too. He said if they didn't leave, they would have split up or the kids would have experienced discrimination. He said he'll do anything for his family, including eating strange potato chips. That's what the food tastes like. Now it's day 16, 3:36 p.m. He is laying in his tent. He said he had a dream that he had long hair past his shoulders, but had a bald spot in the middle. I'm like, y'all, what does dream about hair means? I know people in the past used to say, your dreams mean something. He said he'll build a stove to be safe, to have fire in his tent. He said he has to get food soon, but the weather is changing to colder nights. He found clay, y'all. Clay here, he said, is good for clay bricks. We see him gathering the clay. We see him shaping the rocks. We see him baking those bricks. And then we see him laying them. And I will have these pictures for you. Probably have them all around so you can actually see. But he uses the bricks to make a U shape. And he puts wet clay in the middle to hold them together. He said he decided not to bring a blanket. He brought a warm jacket and overalls to keep him warm. But he is exhausted after doing the 3 layers. But y'all, when I saw that fire that he placed in the U-shaped oven, it seemed really close to the tent, like the tent was going on fire. He talks more, and all I kept looking at was, Baha, the tent may catch on fire. So at 9:27 p.m., he said it's nice to see the stars, okay? And to realize that he is just a speck in the universe. He hopes his wife and kids and grandson are okay without him. He said winning means a lot to the family and his sister's kids too. So we hear further that the sister passed away when she was 40 and he has her 2 kids. Her husband has another family, so the kids don't have parents. And I got mad. Ooh, I was mad. Baha, please don't tell me your sister's husband left his children and went off to create another family with someone else and just left his kids behind. Oh no, y'all, I'm pissed about that. But it ain't about that. He said he brought the kids to Canada, but it's too much and he is the only one working. He said he has to provide. He's the only one working. He cannot call it quits. He cannot quit on his family. He said it's in him to do this. They have their whole life ahead of them. He wants his family and himself to have a better and brighter future. And he wants to leave them in a better place. He misses his sister a lot, but she is in his heart. And he starts talking to his sister, y'all. He asks her to help him through the competition, help him take care of her kids, and help him win. But y'all, the fire looks bigger and it's blowing towards the tent. And I felt him talking to his sister, but I'm like, Baha, going down this road may lead you to tap out. Y'all, this is the end of the episode and we see the previews. Baha is starting to feel defeated. He's spotting dens of pigs and he's going to try and catch them. He puts fire brush down in the den so that the smoke will kind of draw them out, maybe out of another hole. Kelsey is hungry. She says she's at the starvation point and she's like, nothing to eat is just around the corner. And then she sees a herd. But then we also see a boat heading to collect someone else. And that is the end of the previews. Y'all, thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you do enjoy this season as much as I am, because we have not been seeing Katie. What's going on with the footage for Katie? Okay? I haven't seen her in a while. Let's see how she's doing after the storm. And y'all, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.